We saw the car fly down Wolcott, blew a stop sign, going 50, so we kind of had an idea something was up. All the doors open up and you immediately see people with guns.
Hey guys, retired Lieutenant Todd Heaton here with Humilitas First. Stick around to the end of the video and I will share with you what I think are the absolute best tactics for this really bad situation. Two of these bad guys keep their guns in the right hand throughout the duration of this armed robbery. I believe this guy right here is in the process of putting his firearm back into his waistband so he can use both hands to go through the victim's pockets. Other than these guys immediately opening fire on the victims, I can't think of a worse position to be in if I'm concealed carry and my decision is to comply. Why? This involves multiple bad guys, all armed, to keep the pistols in their hands the whole time, and I'm being patted down or searched. So what do you think's going to happen, based on criminal nature being what it is, if one of them feels a firearm in the waistline? It's just easier to shoot you and take the firearm than it is to wait and see if you're going to let him take it. Is it possible they could miss the firearm? Yes, it's possible. It happened in October of 2021 to a retired police captain robbed and searched by three bad guys while filling up his car at a gas station in Oakland, California. But one distinction I would make is look how this retired captain kind of keeps his arms down, his elbows close to his side. Juxtapose that to how this guy's got his hands up, his elbows 90 degrees out. It's my opinion that the worst kind of robbery is this kind of robbery, where you got multiples actually searching you if you have a gun concealed on your person. The first useful information is figuring out, well, where did this happen? This happened in the 1700 block of North Winchester Avenue. So where is that? Otherwise known as Bucktown. What do we find in terms of gun crimes happening in or around this area? Suffice to say, with the research that I did, I'm not going to be taking my family anytime soon for a stroll through this neighborhood. Next big question, when did this happen? Did it happen midday? Did it happen after dark? Well, it happened around 11 p.m. after dark on a Saturday night. This would not be a big surprise to police officers working the area. If circumstances were such that I had to live in this area, and if my wife just would not listen to reason, insisting upon going for a walk in an area like this, then I would do it after sunrise when the majority of human predators bed down for some rest. I would not do this during the hours between sunset and sunrise. Typically, what you see in robberies is the car will stop roughly 90 degrees off the victim's left or right flanks. As they transition out of the car with the gun in hand or reaching for their gun, this close distance is a big deal. It means that for the potential victims, time is a really precious commodity. When these bad guys stop the car and then open the doors and get out, that's all a transition. That whole thing is a transition. A transition is an opportunity. So if you see the violent threat developing, you can often use that transition to your advantage. What did the victim report here?
We saw the car fly down Wolcott, blew a stop sign, going 50, so we kind of had an idea something was up.
If you know something is off, why would you continue moving towards that thing? It's at this very point that this young man could have raised his left arm out in front of his wife or girlfriend to stop her from continuing forward. He could have directed her to this space in front of this minivan, where in front of that engine block, there's something between her and the bad guys that actually stops bullets. Or maybe he just tells her to run at some off angle where she can begin stacking blind corners between her and these dangerous criminals. For instance, if we use Google Earth to check out this area, you're going to see these little gangways between the residences. But without his own firearm, he can only choose between escape and compliance. He goes on to say this.
All the doors open up and you immediately see people with guns.
Look at the distance here. If I have to be involved in a gunfight with three armed robbers, this distance is a gift for anyone who's done the work at building the hard skills related to two-handed marksmanship. The advantage goes to the man or the woman who's done the work. Do you know why bad guys launch their attacks at very close distances? Because with a few exceptions, they don't have the opportunity to build in two-handed marksmanship hard skills. They need point-blank range. They need that close proximity where all they have to do is raise their single-handed pistol and your chest or your face completely fills the backdrop. At that distance, it's hard to miss. And things like Anticipation and trigger control or whatever, they don't really matter when you're this close. In this particular incident, had either one or both of the victims here been concealed carry, done the work to build in some hard skills relating to two-handed marksmanship, at this distance, I like the probabilities of the two innocent people actually winning this armed encounter.